Jason Roth, Keystone Agronomist.
Coming at you with another crop consideration. Well, anything that was early planted is up and is coming along some of the early growth stages, and then the stuff that maybe recently was planted is either just coming up now or is yet to come up. As we get into fields to make assessments, there's some important things to be aware of.
One of the first things we have to understand is the difference between healthy and unhealthy. We have to have a standard, and if we don't know what healthy looks like, how are we really going to know what unhealthy looks like? So one of the examples of that would be roots, right? We got to dig early season. We can see a difference here between healthy roots, right? A little bit more robust, going to happen in well-drained conditions, and then a stunted plant that's a little off color that in comparison has poor rooting, right? With waterlogged soils and more rain that we're having, stuff like this is much more likely to be found.
So another thing that shows up early season that we tend to notice is differences in color. Here we have a more yellow, unhealthy looking plant, right? With some striping going on, likely sulfur deficiency, easier to see compared to a healthier looking plant that's darker in green. Again, a better standard, knowing what's healthy to compare to what's unhealthy. Another thing we're much more likely to see this year in corn is a struggle as it transitions between the seedling root system and the nodal root system that often occurs between about V4 to V6. So that time frame this year could be a little ugly for us, depending on the planting conditions that we had when we put that crop in the ground, and also what the weather conditions are like when those nodal roots are trying to get established. The wetter spring that we're having may set us up for this stage to be a little bit more challenging. Now, the other thing that of course is probably one of the most critical skills as we do field calls and assess crops is being observant, and especially looking for something that I've been trying to help work towards and help you see this whole video. So the question is how good are your skills of observation, and have you figured it out? What is another key thing that we're tuning into when we're going into fields early season and trying to look at the corn, the beans, the crop we're in, trying to assess what's going on, especially if there's a problem? We're trying to look at the pattern that we see in the field. As good agronomists, we are pattern private investigators because patterns don't lie, right? They tell us what's going on. There can be random patterns, right, that are often caused by nature. That can be soil pH, soil fertility related, drainage related, topography related. But then there might be other things that are very much man-made in their pattern. It could be tillage related. It could be planter compaction, planter related. It could be sprayer related, but we have to be in tune to that to really understand. And that right now is giving us an opportunity. What is that opportunity? Let me wrap up and tell you.
The opportunity we have is to pay careful attention to what it is that we're seeing in the weeks ahead, because oftentimes this period of early season growth and development in the fields will reveal problems and patterns that we will only see for a limited time, and yet they could have a season-long impact on our crops. And so we need to pay careful attention to what we're seeing, because perhaps it's something that we could remedy for the future. So with that, I want to wish you the best of luck being a good pattern private investigator, paying attention to what you see in the month ahead as our crops go through these stages to see if there's things that you could fix for the future to increase your profitability and yield potential and make you more successful. With that, take care.